It's still Signature Morning, and you're on Signature TV. I would want to also say again that you should follow us up on all our social media handles as Signature TV Officials on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And voila, we are live on Facebook. And we're also on YouTube live 24 hours at Signature TV. Now we're switching guests and also switching topic, talking about citizens' right violations. You hear people say, oh, you're infringing on my rights. I don't understand what I've done wrong. A lot of times we don't even know when our rights have been infringed on. To help us educate us better about it, we have Barrister Louis Onya. Good morning.
Good morning, my sister.
Good morning. How are you? How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Okay, how I am will be described by my next question. How many times have your rights been violated?
Well, severally, especially when I was in journalism. Okay. When I was practicing journalism, I remember that the day I was allowed to go home was the day Sani Abacha died. So I was still being detained by one chief of security staff in Government House under Suleiman. Who arrested. I was arrested in New Haven for no offense other than I was doing my work as a journalist. Then severally, because that one is holding me, detaining me. Where sometimes you may not be detained, yet your right is violated. If you are supposed to be in school, for example, and you cannot go to school not because you didn't pay your school fees, you met all this thing. The right to education is impaired. Then, so severally my rights have been violated one way or the other.
Can an unjust arrest be violation of the right?
Unjust, that is the key. Unjust arrest. That is the main thing, because even if you commit an offense, you must be treated like a human being. If you steal, for example, public, you have stolen, and somebody could arrest you and begin to beat you, has violated your rights. It's subjecting you to inhuman and degrading treatment. The Constitution says you are free. You are innocent until the contrary is proved. So without waiting for that, and they begin to beat you, hit you, they are subjecting you to inhuman and degrading treatment. Because supposing it eventually is not proved, in court, you are not supposed to prove I am innocent. No. You may keep quiet. It's for the person who arrested you to prove beyond reasonable doubt that you are a thief. It will be pronounced in the law court.
Okay, what are the most common forms of citizen right violation in Nigeria today? What are the most common forms of citizen right violation in Nigeria today, currently?
Arrest and detention is the most common. Because slightest thing, even in your village, somebody will put up a pen, paper together and say you are a thief, you are IPOB, you are this and that. The person, instead of taking him to court of competent jurisdiction, the person will be sent to a magistrate court, for example, grade 2 magistrate, and he has no jurisdiction to entertain such a heinous crime alleged against you. Then you will be sent to prison. You stay there, as God knows. They will brand you anything. But that is not the law. The law says take him to a court of competent jurisdiction. If it is less than 40 kilometers within that space, you take him immediately. But if it is more, maybe its highest is 72 hours, 72 hours. In case of very serious offenses. But not when you disagree with your landlord, he will send you packing, throw away your things. That is unjust. He's subjecting you to public odium. That is inhuman and degrading treatment. You'll be treated as somebody who doesn't pay, very irresponsible person. And in our context, even the government from A to Z are guilty of all these things we're talking about it. Like the other time we were talking about protests and all these things. Government ought not to have detained anybody beyond 24 hours, because they gave you notice. You say go and protest peacefully. By the time they were doing that, you are supposed to protect them, go with them, so that there's no infiltration. Nobody will infiltrate into the league of people moving. So that at that point you are protecting them from adverse party. You are protecting them, you are protecting the citizens, other citizens, from thugs and violent people. So detaining them is wrong, in my own view. I feel that their rights have been infringed on, and I wonder why it took all this long period. But some people may ask, what are the lawyers doing, for example? Why don't they go to court? It's not like that. You must have a client. That is one thing. The person must brief you, tell you, come, please, this is what is happening. Then you don't, in such situation, you go to court, whether he's paying you or not. But he has come to you and said, defend me, either by word, sending words to you. So when you come there, you say, I appear for XYZ. Not XYZ, we say, I didn't brief you. Because sometimes they will, like during the military distance, a lawyer comes, they will tell the person to disown that lawyer. And when you come, they say, I don't know, I didn't brief you. Say, your sister, your wife, your husband asked me to appear before you. Say, well, I don't know you. That is the work in those days. But now, you must have a client who will defend. But then we have the pro bono services. Somebody will say, don't we have pro bono services? We have them, but you must be briefed. That's one thing, directly or indirectly. The person in detention, maybe he may be a minor or even an illiterate, uninformed person, doesn't know that his rights have been infringed on. In such a situation, you can volunteer, because you know if he knew what he was doing, that's his rights, he would definitely call for a lawyer. In that case, you can come in and say, I'm a lawyer, I want to defend you. He will say, please, thank you. Then you start.
What are the root causes of citizen right violation in Nigeria?
The one is, when we talk about generally, it is an attempt by people in authority to make sure that nobody complains. There's no dissent voice. Nobody's saying, I am opposed to what you are doing. That is one. Some of them may be political. One may be political, and it's tied to that. You are objecting to opposing me, they will put you behind bars or even attempt to kill you. The other one is the economic situation in the country, where you have breakups. This person may move from this point to the other. Mere disagreement, he will brand you a name, and that is a different thing. Or you are in the same political party, they will say you are in opposition. That could be a reason why they will distance you, begin to discriminate against you. Because all these things, discriminating against somebody is anti-constitutional law. The person cannot, nobody should be discriminated against. So the main reason for these things, sometimes dictators come up. And you have dictators. When I say dictators, you don't look at only the presidency or the state government. Even in your village, your traditional ruler may disagree with you. He goes to local government chairman to protest. This man is disturbing me. He's opposite, he's this, he's that. Then it will lead to such things.
But this, does it just happen between the federal government or people in power and the normal people, or it is something that can happen between even I and my colleague? Citizen right violation now.
Yes, yes. It is rare to talk about it, but it happens. But it's rare for you, for her or yourself to breach her own right, or for her to breach your own right is rare. It can only happen. One must be on top, that is your head. He might decide not to pay you for no reason. He's breaching your right to earn a living. He might decide to sack you. Then in that case, you protest that the way you were sacked, you were not given fair hearing, you were not fairly treated. But it's usually more with government and the citizens. Government can be anywhere, or politics, people in power. Sometimes you don't do anything, they will say they want to show you. So I think it's...
Okay, so to what extent are government officials and state security forces involved in this violation?
They are the main people, state security officials and government, people in government. They are the main people that are trampling on people's, violating citizens' rights left and right. I'll give you an example. We said we have discovered those who are sponsoring, who sponsored the protest. Fine. They may be right, but 90% they are wrong. They don't discover anything. Then they said we...
Wait. Explain how 90% they are wrong and 10% right.
Yeah, there are, we say in law that presumption, sometimes you presume, based on natural things that have been going, the custom, the norms. So I'm saying that they are right, they are wrong 90% in the sense that from the way they have been doing it in Nigeria, they will tell you they have seen this. We have arrested the criminals that did this, did that, and they go to the detention camp, that is to say, the prison or
correction centers.
Correction centers, thank you. They go there and pick some people, people of no means, no value, and parade them. They will tell them, just agree with us. We will set you free. You will go. So they say, we have discovered, we have arrested those people that went to so-and-so place and committed this heinous crime that everybody's crying again. They will parade some people and take them out.
So are there evidences or facts to back what you just said now?
There are. You don't need to search far. I don't have them here in my pocket or before me. But as a lawyer, most times, if you like, we can, because I'll be going to court now. From here, I'll go to magistrate court. And that is the session. Every other court, high court and above, they are on recess. But once I finish here, I will go to the magistrate. If you come there, you will see it. So many of these things are on regular basis.
We might probably send a reporter to go along with you to cover.
Well, with all pleasure. I will just, he will sit down, he will select. This one is, you choose.
But if lawyers already know that these people are not, okay, like you highlighted that they said, for instance, the hashtag End Bad Governance protesters, the sponsors, they kept saying they know the people behind it. They know the people behind it. Sometimes it feels as if they are trying to put up, create a loophole to find who to target on.
Okay, exactly. That is what they do.
Is it what it is?
That's what it is. Because when they say we know those who are behind it, it's just to put you in a fix, to give you a kind of warning. If you are one of them, we think that they know you. They don't. If they do, how can you just say, I know those who are sponsoring it, they are foreigners, they are this. What of the people who are committing heinous crimes in Sambisa forest?
Okay, so
if you go to the villages in the north, especially, you will know them. You will see them. There is not. If you go to a place like Imo State, I was told by a learned friend of mine that you will go there. There is a place where these people are staying. For example, you are in Enugu, you want to do burial. Somebody died in Enugu, but it's from a place in Imo State. If you go there, you will pay. You will pay to these dissidents, let me use that word, please, and you pay to government army. So you pay some token
To
to allow you to come and bury the deceased in his or her
you
compound.
pay to who again?
You pay to the IPOB people.
What did you call them?
I said dissidents, but
Okay,
I
okay.
call them, I say it's in quote.
Okay, okay.
It's not for me to call them that.
Yes.
But because that's the best word I can use for now.
And you pay to
You
government.
pay to
officials.
government soldiers who are on the other side. They see themselves, they know themselves. When you pay, your burial will be peaceful. They give you time, within this so and so time you finish. Then you rush it, bury and come back. That is why
Why is that? Is there like a war or battle currently going on in
there's
that
war in
region?
Nigeria.
No, I mean in that region. particularly,
Yeah,
is
like
there-
in Imo State, as I said.
Yes.
That is,
Is there a war between the two facts?
that's here
Factions.
axis. No. It's not a war per se. They have fought. They have been fighting because they have been fighting. If you kill any of them, the war will start again. Either you attack the soldiers, it will be open, or they attack you, it will be open. So when there is a raid, for example, that's what sparks it off. When there's calm, everybody stays. They are there. They are watching you. Don't do anything funny. You will telling them their own, leave our place. So it will be like jokes. They know them. But if we were people alleged to be sponsors of a protest or even dissent, you're objecting. They will say they know the people, and whoever is around or whoever supports you or seems to support you will be the person they will allege is doing these things.
Okay, so what measures, because this is, the uproar is so much, what measures can be taken to prevent the detention and harassment of protesters and then citizens?
Yet the most important thing that is for us to begin to educate our people on their rights, because sometimes they do it out of ignorance. Nobody goes out from his house and says, I must go and deal with these people. For example, a policeman may not come from his house and say, I must be arresting people, I must be doing all these things. They don't. But when they get the authorities will tell them, oh yeah, take this person. I'll just give you a small example that recently happened, affected me. We got judgment of a court of competent jurisdiction to levy execution against a tenant who ought to have packed out of that place for more than 5 years. Now, because the lawyer through whom we gave the property happened to be his brother, the man was quiet. He didn't want to oppose what we were trying to do. He called the commissioner of police. The commissioner said a lot of people entered my house. He doesn't live there. And they are cutting away my properties. So they called a particular DPO. DPO now came with about 4 or 5 armed, seriously armed policemen. And they came and saw court workers bringing out those things. They disarmed the police inspector and didn't allow them to talk. Took them to their station, brought them to CP's office. I came there, I said, I am a lawyer. So you sent these people, where's the judgment? The young man said, this is the judgment. He said, kangaroo judgment. So I did like this. When he said kangaroo judgment, I held my head. The deputy commissioner was touched the way I reacted. Said, what is the matter? I explained, so, okay, we're going to investigate now. They went to court. Court came, supplied the papers, all the assistant chief registrars in Enugu -1 who was not in town, all the bailiffs in High Court and Magistrate Court, all the clerks, they all came. The police insisted that it was illegal. The man now came, saw me. I said, okay, go and put off the fire. He was delaying. So the police didn't allow anybody to say anything to the contrary. Those policemen, apart from the DPO, who were acting, did not come up and say, we are going to, today we'll do this and that and that. But when they get to the office, they will not know. So enlightenment, try to educate citizens through the media. The media can take up that matter to educate people. They will now know their rights. Sometimes you want to push them to violate another's right, they will say no because of the obvious consequence. Then if that is the one. The second one is attitude of courts to fundamental rights cases. Yes. You don't need to be a lawyer to prevent or defend your rights. When citizens are properly taught, in the West, Western Nigeria, you meet these people, they don't sell their provisions in the shops like we do here. They carry it in baskets and all that. Women, aged women, because they know their right. When these people come, or even police to harass them, they say, oh, Lord, Jeje, let's take it easy. If you go further, I will tell you, you will hear from my lawyer. You bring out a small lawyer, police. They will speak Yoruba and tell him, God help serve you. If you don't amend, if you don't retreat, you will meet your Waterloo because they will serve you the papers. So enlightenment, many people don't know that a policeman has no reason whatsoever to handle petitions arising from land disputes.
Okay. So what role do social and economic inequality play in exacerbating citizens' right violation? And as well, what impact of right violation, what impact does it have on the economy of the country?
Well, let me say that economic problems like poverty is the bane of all these things. Unemployment is another segment in terms of rape, drug abuse, and all these things as a result of not having any good means of livelihood. Then if people are trained, educated, well educated, they have conscience. They have conscience. So the impact is that when people are afraid to go into meaningful projects, meaningful jobs, you know that the person turns to be a lazy person, or the person is frustrated. Frustration comes in, he can take anything, and that will lead to buying him, hiring him to be a thug. Then in that case, because that's where he gets his means of livelihood, he'll decide to go and kidnap this person, go and insult this person, assault this person, and stealing will now be, the economy will not grow because people cannot invest. You come in now, this is your office, and they tell you tomorrow the government has revoked your property. It's a breach of your right. Because the Land Use Act says no compensation, no revocation. That's simple. And in revoking your property, you must be part of the people, you must be there to determine your compensation. Not what they do. Give him, they said, they will take your land, 300 plots. They say this one is compensatory plots. Or take 50. 50 from the 300. So why are you calling it compensatory plots? It's not. So because of this, people don't invest when you have this type of citizen violation of their rights. You build a shop, I'm not talking about those who deliberately run foul of town planning rules. I'm not talking of that. Because if you have committed an offense, the only thing government requires to do is to wait. Let the court pronounce it. You face the music. Not saying, this man is a rogue. This man is this. You send him, torture him. When he comes to court, he says, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He accepts. So it affects our economic growth as a nation. Outsiders are watching. They see how you are treating your citizens. They will not come. Say, you have done this to your citizens. What of me, who is a foreigner? They won't come.
Thank you so much, Barrister Louis Onya. It was,
Thank you.
honestly, it was really an exciting time to hear you, and also I believe we are educated, more educated than we were before. This light you've thrown to us about the fact that, hey, so when someone is infringing on your right or your right is being violated, you know who to call or where to go. You can't wait and sit around for a barrister to come to you.
Or
You need
go to prayer. You begin to pray. You go to court
Yeah.
as an individual, you can complain. And you handle your case.
Thank you so much. It's still Signature Morning, and we are on Signature TV. Right now, we'll also be switching guests and we'll be switching topics, talking about another very prevalent issue that bothers you. To stay with us.